Good morning once again, all of you, my dear students. In our up to our yesterday's class, we covered number of electronic effects. And up to now, we completed that is inductive effect, I effect, mesomeric effect or R effect, which is also these two are permanent effects, boys. Okay, so we covered resonance for explaining conjugation. Okay, next. Now, already electromeric effect and inductomeric effect are also completed. There is one more effect ending, which is also permanent effect, which is nothing but hyperconjugation. Hyperconjugation. So today's our topic is that hyperconjugation. It is also permanent effect, boys. Very, very, very important. This also influences stabilities, okay, reactivities. So bond lengths, all those are influenced by this hyperconjugation also. So let us discuss this hyperconjugation. Okay. Now, before entering into the hyperconjugation, a background information we must need it, boys. What is that background information required? That is nothing but we must know about alpha hydrogen. We must know about alpha hydrogen. Already in our functional group explanations, at the time of functional group explanations, at the time of conditions, so I explained this alpha hydrogen, but once again, I'm detailedly trying to explain this alpha hydrogen here because it plays an important role in hyperconjugation. It plays an important role in hyperconjugation. If you want to understand this hyperconjugation concept, you must know about this alpha hydrogen. Otherwise, it is not possible. Hyperconjugation concept totally depending on alpha hydrogen. Now, what is this alpha hydrogen? So, alpha hydrogen is nothing but, so in our given compound, please be conscious. In our given compound, there should be a functional group. There should be a functional group. We know functional groups. Or free radicals next to cations, anions. These are also we treated as functional groups. We know those functional groups. The very next carbon attached to this functional group, the very next carbon, that is nothing much. So the carbon which is directly attached to this functional group, the carbon which is directly attached to this functional group is called as alpha carbon. The carbon which is directly attached with this functional group is called as alpha carbon. Hydrogen on it, on that alpha carbon are called as alpha hydrogen. Hydrogens on it are called as alpha hydrogen. What is alpha carbon? That is the carbon directly attached to the functional group. That is the carbon directly attached to the functional group. That carbon is alpha carbon. In that alpha carbon, some hydrogens are there. Those hydrogens on it, on that alpha carbon, are called as alpha hydrogens. Let us take some examples. So see here the statements. So what is the statement? A carbon atom directly attached to the functional group is alpha carbon, and hydrogens on it are called as alpha hydrogen. This is what I told just now. Okay. So let us identify. So how many alpha hydrogens are there in the given compound? So this is very, very, very important. Please be conscious. So please note down each and every point. So after that, after completion of this alpha hydrogens, so we will go for hyperconjugation. Okay. See here, boys. So there is a question. So find the number of alpha hydrogens in the following. Find the number of alpha hydrogens in the following. Okay. So first of all, you should identify alpha carbon and then identify alpha hydrogen. And then identify. See here. So it is the molecule, boys. Please copy all these structures with some gap. Please copy all these structures. I'm explaining one by one. I'm trying to explain one by one. See here, this is the molecule. This is the C double bond O. Now, it is the functional group, my dear boys. It is the functional group. Okay. Next. It is the molecule. So in this molecule COOH, this is the functional group, my dear boys. This is the functional group. Please identify first of all functional groups in the given molecules. Okay. Next, in this molecule, C double bond C is the functional group. C double bond C is the functional group. Next, here, this C double bond C, single bond C is the. So conjugated diene, it is a total functional group. It is a total functional group. Next, see here, it is a triple bond in this molecule. So this is functional group. Boys, so here carbon, 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 carbon. Total 4 carbons are there. So this is functional group. See here carbocation. So this cation is also considered as a functional group. That is a functional group. First identify that functional group. Next, carbon radical. This is a functional group. Radical is the functional group. Okay. Next, here C double bond C. This is one functional group. This is also functional group, my dear boys. This is also functional group. Okay. Next, here. So conjugation. It is totally the functional group. It is totally the functional group. Okay. Conjugated system. Next, here. This is functional group. This is also functional group. This is also conjugated system. So total this one is a functional group. Total this one is a functional group. Okay. Here also this is both these are same end. So it is a total functional group. It is a total functional group. Next. So later I will explain this. Please wait. That is very, very important. Okay. So is there any doubt in the identification of functional groups? So these are the functional groups in the given molecules. Now, the functional group attached to the carbon which is directly attached to functional group. Boys, it is functional group. This is the carbon directly attached to the functional group. This is alpha carbon. This is functional group. This is also directly attached, boys. Therefore, it is alpha carbon. Therefore, in this molecule, 2 alpha carbons are there. So here, so this is the carbon. Already 2 bonds are covered. Remaining 2 bonds. So 2 hydrogens here, 3 hydrogens here. Total 5 alpha hydrogens are formed. 5 alpha hydrogens. But boys, did you clear? The concept is clear or not? See here. This is functional group. This is the carbon directly attached to functional group. Therefore, it is alpha carbon. So it is also alpha carbon. Both sides in any direction, that should be the alpha carbon, that is the carbon directly attached to the functional group. Okay. So this carbon has 2 hydrogens, this carbon has 3 hydrogens, total 5 alpha. Like this, please count number of alpha hydrogens in the following compound, except this. Please do yourself. I will explain. Please do yourself. Like this, please identify how many alpha hydrogens are there. First find out alpha carbon and then find out number of alpha hydrogens. First alpha carbon and then alpha hydrogens. I am giving time. Please do yourself. That's important. See here, boys. See here. So this is functional group. This is alpha carbon. This alpha carbon, boys, alpha next beta. Alpha next beta. Beta next gamma. Okay, but we want only alpha. We want one alpha. So this alpha has 2 hydrogens. 2 alpha hydrogens are possible here. Next, see here. This is functional group. Here, this is alpha carbon, this is alpha carbon, this is alpha carbon, this is alpha carbon. Total 4 alpha carbons are there. Here, CH3 means 3 hydrogens, 3 hydrogens, 6. Here 2 hydrogens, here 2 hydrogens. Okay, total 10 N. So 10 alpha hydrogens. 10 alpha hydrogens. Okay. Next here. So this is alpha carbon. This is alpha carbon to this. This is alpha to this. This is alpha. So this one, this one, this one. Total 3 alpha carbons. So 3 plus 2 plus 2. Total 7 is alpha hydrogens. 7 alpha hydrogens. Next here. This is alpha carbon. This is alpha carbon. Yes. 6 alpha hydrogens. 6 alpha hydrogens. Now what about this? So this is alpha. This is alpha. It is 3. It is 2. Total 5 alpha hydrogens. Total 5 alpha hydrogens. Good. Next. What about this? What about this? This is alpha. This is alpha. Here 2 hydrogens. Here 2 hydrogens. Total 4 hydrogens. For this 4 alpha hydrogens. Yes, correct. Now, what about this? So this is alpha hydrogen. This is alpha hydrogen. This is alpha hydrogen. This is alpha hydrogen. Okay. Here 3. Here 3. Total 6 alpha hydrogens here. Total 6 alpha hydrogens are here. 6 alpha hydrogens. Next, what about that? What about that? That is, tell me boys, here it is the only alpha carbon. Therefore, 3 alpha hydrogens are available. 3 alpha hydrogens are only available. 3 alpha hydrogens. Next, what about this? So this is alpha. This is alpha. So total 6 alpha hydrogens are possible. 6 alpha hydrogens. Good. All of you correct, boys. Okay. Let us discuss the 10th one. Let us discuss the 10th one. Okay. So how to identify number of alpha hydrogens there? Almost similar, but a slight variation are available. Variation is there. Okay, boys. See that structure? I'm rewriting the structure. See here. See, boys, see here. This is the unpaid electron, free radical, carbon free radical. Now, our function group is this one. Our function group is this one. Carbon free radical is the function group. Okay. Now it is involved in, see here. Now it is, this bond is like this. 2 unpaid electrons. This unpaid electron and this unpaid electron is in bond formation. Now this carbon gets radical. This carbon. What is this position? It is ortho position. So at ortho position, unpaid electron is available because of resonance. Next, at the same time, so this is unpaid. These are the unpaid electrons. Now this unpaid electrons gives formation. This is para position. There is unpaid electron at para position. This is exists. Next, so these 2 unpaid electrons, This is unpaired electron, this is unpaired electron. These two are involved in bond formation. This is unpaired electron. So now it is ortho position. Therefore, so when alpha unpaired electron is here, just like in our carbocations. So if unpaired electron is here, so that unpaired electron is rotated at ortho, para, ortho positions because of resonance. Because of resonance, okay. So carbon free radical exists at ortho and para positions. Ortho and para positions. Therefore, so methyl groups attached to ortho and para are alpha carbon side. Carbon in. Therefore, carbon in methyl group. Therefore, carbon in methyl group attached to ortho and para are alpha carbons. So therefore, this is important, boys. So now our structure is this one. Okay. So therefore, this is methyl group. This is methyl group. Only these three methyl groups are considered. This methyl group and this methyl group is not considered here. No effect is applicable. Therefore, so this is alpha carbon, 3 alpha hydrogens. So this is alpha carbon, 3 alpha hydrogens are available. This is alpha carbon, so 3 alpha hydrogens are possible. Therefore, total 9 alpha hydrogens are possible in this compound. Total 9 alpha hydrogens are possible in this case. So only we must consider methyl groups at alpha position. That is at ortho and para positions. So that means see here. So this is functional group. This is functional group. This is functional group. This is functional group. Therefore, so for this is alpha hydrogen. For this is alpha hydrogen. For this is alpha carbon. For this is alpha carbon. Therefore, 3 plus 3 plus 3. These are the total 9 alpha hydrogens. Total 9 alpha hydrogen. That means when methyl group, that is C plus is there, C radical is there. So only we must consider. So at ortho and para positions, carbon attached to ortho and para positions, meta position carbons are not considered as alpha carbons. Okay. So this is very, very, very important. So read this, understand, boys? So did you understand the concept? Tell me. Total how many alpha hydrogens, boys? 9 alpha hydrogens. Okay. Please respond. Please respond. Is the concept clear? So don't consider that methyl at meta position. No. Some more examples. So later we will explain. In hyperconjugation. There sometimes we use this concept during the explanation of hyperconjugation. That's why I'm taking this example. Okay. If carbon radical is there, carbon plus is there. Carbon radical, carbon plus, whatever it may be, we consider methyl groups at ortho and para or alpha conditions. Those carbons are alpha carbons. Okay. So this is about alpha carbons. Now, okay. So that is S minus also, negative also we consider that as alpha, no doubt. Okay. See here. So during this hyperconjugation, only we consider cations and unpaired electrons. Why? I will explain, boys. Now I'm going to enter into hyperconjugation. Is there any doubt in identification of number of alpha hydrogens? Is there any doubt in the identification of number of alpha hydrogens? Okay, so that's corrected. That's enough. So if you understand this concept, this hyperconjugation is very, very, very easy. Now see here. Okay, boys. Now our topic is hyperconjugation. Hyperconjugation. This hyperconjugation is also called as no bond resonance. Which is also called as no bond resonance or sigma pi conjugation or heterovalent resonance. Boys, take subheading hyperconjugation. Take subheading hyperconjugation. This hyperconjugation is also called as no bond resonance, sigma pi conjugation, heterovalent resonance, or Baker-Nathan effect. B-A-K-E-R. Baker, N-A-T-H-A-N. Nathan effects. So all these are comes under hyperconjugation, boys. Any one is the name to the hyperconjugation. This is nothing but hyperconjugation. Sir, what is this hyperconjugation? Hyperconjugation, it is one type of resonance. See here, it is one type of resonance. Between sigma bond and pi bond. So actually resonance means already we covered at the time of conjugation. So pi bond lone pair, pi bond with pi bond with anion. So those conditions, so those are observed, boys. But it is a special type of resonance. Here sigma bond is involved. Actually, during resonance, sigma bonds are not involved, but here sigma bond is involved. So that is why a sigma bond and a pi bond is sigma bond converted into pi bond converted into sigma bond. Here sigma bond changes to pi bond. So pi bond changes to sigma bond. So that's why this conjugation is called as sigma pi conjugation. So this is called as sigma pi conjugation. So this is called as sigma pi conjugation. Let us explain with an example. Please wait. Okay. So a type of resonance here, sigma bond and pi bond are involved in conjugation. So sigma bond changes to pi bond changes to sigma bond. Therefore, this is called as sigma pi conjugation. This is called as sigma pi conjugation. Okay. Sir, where this concept is available? So this is possible where in the compounds. This is possible in the compounds if it has following condition. If it has following condition, what is that condition? See here, there is an sp3 hybridized carbon, boys. There is an sp3 hybridized carbon. This sp3 hybridized carbon is bonded with another carbon atom which is sp2 hybridized. An sp3 carbon bonded with sp2 carbon. Okay, so this sp3 carbon, boys, sp2 carbon means this sp2 carbon is either C radical or C plus or C double bond C. In all these cases, these are all sp2 conditions, boys. Okay, so that means either carbon radical or carbon cation or carbon, and that is what is that, alkenes or benzene. In benzene also carbon is in sp2 hybridization, boys. Benzene also considers sp2 hybridization, boys. So this carbon also in sp2 hybridization. In these cases, so that carbon bonded with sp3 carbon. So therefore, this sp3 carbon is considered as alpha carbon because this is the functional group. Functional group very next attached carbon should be the alpha carbon. So if this alpha carbon has at least one hydrogen, this is nothing but alpha hydrogen. Am I correct? So this is functional group. Now it is a functional group. So functional group directly attached carbon should be the alpha carbon. That must be sp3. No other conditions are not accepted here. That must be sp3. So the hydrogen attached to that carbon is nothing but alpha carbon. The hydrogen attached to that carbon is nothing but alpha carbon. Sorry, alpha hydrogen. That hydrogen is at least one alpha hydrogen. Okay. So first point, these are the condition boys. At least one alpha hydrogen must exist. So therefore, hyperconjugation possible. Hyperconjugation possible. So this is the condition required for hyperconjugation boys. An sp2 hybridized carbon bonded with sp3 carbon, that should be alpha carbon. If that sp3 carbon, that alpha carbon has at least one hydrogen, that is at least one alpha hydrogen. That means a compound sp2 carbon has at least one alpha hydrogen, then this hyperconjugation concept is applicable. Then this hyperconjugation concept is applicable. Okay. So therefore, hyperconjugation is applicable. What is this hyperconjugation? How to explain? So boys, did you understand the concept? When this concept is applicable, that means, so it is possible. It is possible in alkenes, their sp2 and carbon is in sp2. So benzene, their carbon is in sp2 and carbocation is sp2 and so carbon free radical, okay. So in these cases, carbon is in sp2, so there sp3 carbon may be attached, so there this concept is applied. So up to now, is there any doubt? Tell me boys, up to now, is there any doubt? When this concept is applied, so that means not always. If this condition is holds good, automatically hyperconjugation effect we will apply. Now let us take an example. So what happened? How to explain this hyperconjugation? So compounds having this condition. See here. C double bond C, CH2, single bond, CH3 boys. It is in alkenes boys. Okay. So this is functional group. This is sp2 hybridized. Okay. So this is our functional group. Therefore, this carbon is alpha carbon. So these are the hydrogens boys. It has 3 alpha hydrogens, we know. It has 3 alpha hydrogens. Now what happens, sir? First of all, it is involved in resonance. See here. This pi bond shifted to this one. Automatically, this, that is alpha hydrogen. This is alpha hydrogen boys. So the sigma bond present between carbon and alpha hydrogen, sp3 carbon. This is sp3 carbon. The sigma bond present, that is alpha carbon and alpha hydrogen. The sigma bond is there. This sigma bond turned into a pi bond. Okay. So now what happened? See here, boys. So this is converted into like this. This is converted into like this. That is HC, HC, single bond, CH2. It is CH, boys. It is CH. What happened? This pi bond, this is lone pair, boys. This gets negative charge because this pi bond shifted to die like that. Now, so here hydrogen is there, alpha hydrogen. This pi bond shifted here. It converts into a double bond character. Now, this hydrogen gets positive charge. This hydrogen gets positive charge. There is no bond is present between alpha carbon and alpha hydrogen. There is no bond present between alpha carbon and alpha hydrogen. Please be conscious. Here, no bond is there. Here, no bond is there. So that no bond, sir, how that's H plus and retained there because there is no bond between carbon and hydrogen. That is satisfied with. So now it undergoes once again resonance, boys. So this another alpha hydrogen is entered here. Now it is in resonance like this. So that is carbon, double bond, CH, CH2, lone pair. Okay. So this is hydrogen not changed, boys. So this hydrogen gets, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. This is 1, this is 3, and now this one gets positive charge. This is second hydrogen. Here no bond is there. Okay. Automatically it is satisfying. So this third one is shifted here. So that gives one more structure. That is carbon. So H1, H2. With H3, there is a positive charge. So no bond resonance is applied. Now it is a CH, single bond CH2 with the radical. Now it entered into here. This entered into here. That gives original structure. That gives original structure. So like this, number of resonance structures are possible. Here, atoms' positions are not changed. Atoms' positions are not changed. Okay. So here, sigma bond changes to pi bond changes to sigma bond. Am I correct or wrong? Here, sigma bond changes to pi bond. So pi bond changes to sigma bond. So this pi bond once again changes to sigma bond. Therefore, sigma bond changes to pi bond changes to sigma bond. That's why it is called as sigma pi conjugation. So sigma pi conjugation. This pi bond and this sigma bond. See here. This is sigma bond and this pi bond are in conjugation. That is why it is called as sigma pi conjugation. That is why this is called as sigma pi conjugation. Because of this, number of resonance structures are there. In resonance structures, there is no bond is present between the alpha carbon and alpha hydrogen. Alpha carbon and alpha hydrogen. That is why it is called as no bond resonance. So during resonance structures, during resonance, so there is no bond is present between alpha carbon and alpha hydrogen. Therefore, this resonance is called as no bond resonance. This resonance is called as no bond resonance. It is very, very important. It is very, very important. Okay. Okay, boys. For example, it contains 3 alpha hydrogens, boys. That is why 3 resonance structures are possible. If it contains only 2 alpha hydrogens, 2 resonance structures are there. If it contains only 1 alpha hydrogen, 1 resonance structure is there. If it contains no alpha hydrogens, no resonance structures are there. That is why alpha hydrogen is a must required for this hydrogen, this resonance wise. Therefore, so number of resonating structures, see here, condition, number of hyperconjugation structures is directly proportional to number of alpha hydrogens. So it is very, very, very important. More number of alpha hydrogens, more hyperconjugation structures. That means more resonance, more stable. So that is hyperconjugation structures are nothing but, guys, these hyperconjugation structures are nothing but resonance structures. These are nothing but resonance structures. So more resonance structures, more is the stability of the molecule. More is the stability of the molecule. So this is the way to explain hyperconjugation in alkenes. Hyperconjugation in alkenes. See here once again. I'm explaining orbital pictures first. Orbital pictures. See here. This is alpha hydrogen, sp3 carbon boys, bonded with CH, double bond CH. Just we completed this experiment, this concept boys. We wrote resonance hyperconjugation structure for this molecule. Sir, what happened? What is the overlapping conditions? See here boys, here this pi bond change it to lone pair. This pi bond turned into pi bond. This sigma bond turned into pi bond. How is this possible? See here. It is sp2 carbon. sp2 carbon. This sp2 carbon has empty p orbital boys. This sp2 carbon has empty p orbital. Empty p orbital of sp2 carbon. This is empty p orbital. Boys, sp2 means carbon has s orbital, p orbital, one s orbital, 3 p orbitals. 1s and 2p are involved in hybridization. The third one is empty in condition. Okay, the third p orbital is pure p orbital. That is an empty pure p orbital. Empty pure p orbital. Okay, this empty pure p orbital is nothing but pi star orbital of carbon. Please be conscious. In our MO diagram, sigma star, pi star orbitals are there. This empty orbital must be pi star empty orbital of sp2 carbon. Pi star empty orbital of sp2 carbon. Okay, so next, this is sigma bond boys. Sigma bonded one. This is sigma bond. Okay, from this CH bond, from this CH bond, from this CC bonded. I'm taking this is CC bond and CH bond are involved boys. So CH bond, sigma bond, CC bond, empty p orbital, empty p orbital, that is pi star empty p orbital. So this sigma bonded electrons are turned. That means this orbital, lone paired orbital is in overlapping with empty p orbital of sp2 carbon. So this is overlapping boys. Because of this overlapping, a bond is formed between these. Okay, what are those orbitals involved in overlapping? So sigma orbital, sp3 orbital, and actually sigma filled orbital, and this is a sigma filled orbital. Sigma filled orbital of alpha carbon, that is alpha hydrogen of alpha carbon, and empty pi star orbital of sp2 carbon. sp2. I'm drawing like this. See here. Boys, it is a CH bond. This one. Okay. So this CH bond has a pair of electrons. These are the pair of electrons, the sigma bonded electrons. So it is a sigma filled boys. Sigma filled orbitals. Okay. There is a pi star orbital boys. Pi star orbital of CC bond. Pi star orbital, that is empty. Empty, that is no electrons are drawn here. Okay. So now these two, these are MO diagrams boys. These are MO orbitals. Now two orbitals are involved in mixing. That gives two new orbitals are produced. One having low energy, another one has high energy. It is bonding orbitals. It is anti-bonding orbitals. It is bonding orbitals. It is anti-bonding orbitals. So now these two electrons first enter into bonding condition, and this is empty. This is empty. Okay. So this is also pi star. This is also pi star. Okay. So this is the way. So filled orbitals of CH bond and empty pi star orbital of CC bond are involved in overlapping and gives a pi bond between CC. So that means here pi star empty orbital of sp2 carbon is involved in overlapping. That is very, very, very important. That is very, very, very important. Please be conscious. So this is actually what happened during the conversion of that sigma bond into pi bond. So no doubt there should be a pi bond formation, that means sideways overlapping. That sideways overlapping, because that is a pi bond. That sideways overlapping, that is empty sp2 pi star orbital of sp2 carbon and filled CH sigma bonded orbital. Filled CH sigma bonded orbital. That is nothing but hybrid orbital of alpha hydrogen. So are sideways involved in sideways overlapping boys. Boys, it is hybrid orbital. Actually, hybrid orbitals are not involved in sideways overlapping. During this process, hybrid orbital is converted into pure orbital. Here, sp3 hybrid orbital is changed to pure orbital. Here sp3 hybrid. That means actually hybrid orbitals are not participate in the pi bond formation. But if it is required, there that hybrid orbitals are turned into pure orbitals. Then that is overlapping is possible. So therefore, this is also possible. So this is actually what happened. It is a pi star empty orbital of sp2 carbon. Now is the concept clear? Now is the concept clear? Tell me. It is very, very, very important. Now, yes, boys, if this is hydrogen, see here. So it is sp2 carbon. This is sp3 carbon. It is alpha. So alpha carbon has hydrogen. This is alpha hydrogen. This is alpha hydrogen. Boys, if it is hydrogen, maybe hydrogen is there, maybe deuterium is there, maybe tritium is there. Sir, all these hydrogens, deuterium, tritium may involved in the hyperconjugation or not? Yes, it is possible, boys. Hydrogen, deuterium, tritium are possible, but the rate of involvement is hydrogen greater than deuterium greater than tritium. Heavy isotope involvement is very, very less. Therefore, hyperconjugation so in case of CT is less than that of CD less than that of CH. CT less than that of CD less than that of CH boys. That means hyperconjugation is difficult. In case of tritium. In case of tritium, very, very important. So that means hydrogen hyperconjugation is easy, but tritium hyperconjugation is difficult. That means hydrogens are ready to involve in hyperconjugation. More number of alpha hydrogens, more is the hyperconjugation structures. Nothing but resonance structures. More resonance structures, more is the stability. More resonance structures, more is the stability. That means the stability of the molecule is explained on the basis of this hyperconjugation also. So those are the some more applications I will explain. Okay. So let us discuss one by one. Boys, in a molecule, for example, in a molecule, hyperconjugation, next to mesomeric effect or nothing but a resonance effect, and what about that? First one, inductive effect. All these are simultaneously exist. Sir, which one we have to give in preference? Okay, first inductive effect, boys. First resonance effect. See here. Order of different effects is first resonance effect. I am giving preference first. Resonance effect. After that, I am taking R. or mesomeric effect. Resonance effect or mesomeric effect, both are same, which is greater than. Next to hyperconjugation. It is also resonance voice. Hyperconjugation. I am taking HC. Hyperconjugation. After that, inductive. So inductive effect has least priority voice. But in case of halogens, very, very important. I effect greater than R effect. So it is exceptional case voice. But in case of halogens, I effect is greater than R effect, except this situation. In remaining all cases, resonance effect dominates inductive effect. In all other cases, resonance effect dominates inductive. Okay, next point. So very, very important. Next one. So number of alpha hydrogens is equal to number of no bond resonance structures. Nothing but hyperconjugation structures. Nothing but hyperconjugation structures. So stability of the molecule is directly proportional to number of hyperconjugation structures. Nothing but number of alpha hydrogens. It is important. Stability of the molecule is directly proportional to number of hyperconjugation structures. Nothing but number of alpha hydrogens. Let us discuss the molecules, which one is more stable, which one is less stable, based on this concept, boys. Okay. See here, compare stability. Question is compare stability. This is my question, boys. So first one, I'm taking the examples. This is plus. This is plus. This is plus. Tell me, boys, which one is A, B, C? What is the order of stability of A, B, C? What is the order of stability of A, B, C? Tell me. Based on that means stability is directly proportional to number of number of alpha hydrogen cells. Already we know how to find out number of alpha hydrogen cells. Tell me. Greater than or less than? Tell me. Which one is more? Yes, good. Boys, this is alpha. This is alpha, this is alpha, this is alpha, boys. So 2 plus 2 plus 3, 7 alpha hydrogens. For this is alpha, this is alpha. 2 plus 1, 3 alpha hydrogens. For this, only this one is alpha, only 1 alpha hydrogen. Therefore, A greater than B greater than C is the answer. So stability order is A greater than B greater than C. Good. Next. Second one. Now tell me, boys. AB. Once again. AB. Which one is more stable? Yes, good, good. Yes. See here. For this is alpha, this is alpha, this is alpha. Here one, here one, here two. 1, 1, 2. 4 alpha hydrogens. 4 alpha hydrogens. For this is alpha, this is alpha, this is alpha. Here 2 plus 3, 5 plus 1, 6 alpha hydrogens. 6 alpha hydrogens. Therefore, B greater than A is the answer. B greater than A is the answer. Next. Third one. That is this is radical. This is radical. This is radical, boys. AB. Which is more stable? Boys, only radical positive charge is acceptable. Negative charge don't consider in hyperconjugation. Yes, yes. See here. For this is alpha, this is alpha, this is alpha. 2 plus 2, 4 plus 3, 7 alpha hydrogens. 7 alpha hydrogens. Okay. Here it is alpha, it is alpha. So 3 plus 1, 4 alpha hydrogens. 4 alpha hydrogens. Therefore, A greater than B. Therefore, A greater than B. Okay. So like this, boys, it is a way to explain the stability of the molecules. So stability of the molecules. Next, one more example. One more example. CH3. CH3. Sorry, CH2. CH3. CH. CH3. CH3. CH3, CH3, CH3. This is the concept, boys. Tell me the order of stability. Tell me the order of stability. Absolutely wrong, Gaurav. Absolutely wrong. Yes, Ramanuja, you are correct. Ramanuja, correct. See, boys, see here. This is CH3. Our answer is it is A, B, C, D, and E. Okay. A greater than, B greater than, C greater than, D is the answer. A greater than, B greater than, C greater than, D. Okay. See here, boys. Engineering, don't consider this. Yes, yes, I will explain. Keshav, please wait. I will explain, please wait. Okay. I'm taking CH3. Okay. First, listen. This hydrogen like this, it is not possible. Okay. This one gets negative charge. But see here. I am explaining here. Here, just a minute. For example, if it is going like this, it is converted into like this. So the structure is like this, boys. Like this. But negative charge on benzene ring decreases the stability. Negative charge on benzene ring, but negative charge on benzene ring decreases stability. That is why it is not possible. Yes. But so this is special case, and that's why I'm representing like this. So negative charge in benzene ring is not possible. Not possible. Okay. So now in this case, it is primary carbon, it is a secondary carbon, it is a tertiary carbon. So primary carbon, tertiary carbon is more stable than, that is, it is quaternary, tertiary, secondary, it is primary. So quaternary is more stable than this one end. Only in benzene, only in this particular case. Only in this particular case, it is special case. Okay. So therefore, so that is more stable than here. These are considered as alpha conditions. Okay. So because of that, just a minute, boys. Just a minute. Yes. I'm very sorry. Yes. But it is something less stable ending, but it has 3 alpha hydrogens. 3 alpha hydrogens. It has 2 alpha hydrogens. It has 1 alpha hydrogen. It has 0 alpha hydrogens. 0 alpha hydrogens. Therefore, 3 alpha hydrogens is more stable. And but this case is happened, but alpha hydrogens we consider. So this is the way to explain the concept. Therefore, so 3 alpha hydrogens, 2 alpha hydrogens, 1 alpha hydrogens, no alpha hydrogen. A is more stable than other cases. So our answer is this one. No doubt, alpha. No doubt, alpha hydrogens are considered, but when compared to open chain compounds, benzene condition. So this is acceptable, but this is also acceptable. This is acceptable, and also this is acceptable. So that is why. So as per our alpha hydrogen conditions, so these are the conditions. These are the number of. This is the order of stability as per our alpha hydrogens. So 3 alpha hydrogen. This is alpha carbon, boys. This is alpha. This is alpha. This is alpha. So no alpha hydrogens, less is the stability. Okay. Therefore, A greater than B greater than C greater than D is the answer. Okay. Next. But negative charge on benzene ring has less stability even when compared to open chain compounds. When compared to open chain compounds. Now, what are the applications of this hyperconjugation? What are the applications? Once again, some more examples, guys. Some more examples in stability. So compare stability once again. Compare stability once again, boys. So tell me the answer. Now tell me, boys, A, B, C. What is the order of stability? It is first one. Second one. Tell me your stability order. A, B, C. Okay, tell me. This is sp2. Alpha, 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 alpha. Yes, A is greater than B and C. Yes, correct. Therefore, here 12 alpha hydrogens. So this one, this one, this one, this one are alpha conditions. Next, here, this one, and this one is the alpha conditions. So 3 plus 3, 6 plus 2, 8 alpha hydrogens. Next, for this one and this one is the conditioning. 3 plus 2, 5 alpha hydrogens. Therefore, A greater than B greater than C. This is the order of stability. A greater than B greater than C. Okay. Next one. For this one, this one, this one, this one is the condition. Okay. So therefore, here this one and this one are the only alpha conditions. For this one, this one, this one is the alpha condition. Here also A greater than, tell me boys, how many alpha hydrogens? So 2 plus 2, 3 plus 3, 10 alpha hydrogens here. Here 2 plus 1, 3 alpha hydrogens here. Here 3, 2, 5, 5 plus 3, 8 alpha hydrogens here. 8 alpha hydrogens, 8, 3, 4, 5, 6, not 8, it is 6 alpha hydrogens. 6 alpha hydrogens. So therefore, A greater than C greater than B is the answer. A greater than C greater than B is the answer. Okay. Next, one more. Alkanes. It is a cis compound. It is a cis compound. It is a trans component. No doubt we know trans is more stable than cis. We know trans is more stable than cis. Okay. Next, it is isobutene. It is isobutene, boys. Tell me which one is more stable. See here. In these two cases, boys, please listen carefully. In these two cases, negative charge on secondary carbon atom. But here, negative charge on primary carbon. So primary carbon ion is more stable than secondary carbon ions. Therefore, it is more stable than this one, these two. Therefore, C, between these two, trans is more stable than cis and trans is more stable than cis. Therefore, C greater than B greater than A is the answer. C greater than B greater than A is the answer. But all these are alkenes, boys. Alkenes stability is clearly explained on the basis of heat of combustion and heat of hydrogenations. So this is important. Stability can be explained based on heat of combustion and heat of hydrogenation of alkenes or other compounds. So actually, this is the way to explain the stability, but the stability of the molecules is explained on the basis of heat of combustion. Heat of combustion means that is a compound involved in combustion, burning in the presence of excess of oxygen, burning in the presence of excess of oxygen. So heat energy is released. So more heat energy is released, more is the reactive, less is the stability. More is the reactive, less is the stability. So that means heat of hydrogenation. When hydrogen is added, heat is released. So added means reactant. If it is quickly reacted, more heat and energy is released. More energy is released. So if released energy is more, reacted is more. Reacted is more, stability is less. Therefore, stability of these compounds is inversely proportional to stability is inversely proportional to heat of combustion and also inversely proportional to heat of hydrogenation. Stability is inversely proportional to heat of combustion and heat of hydrogenation. So based on those values, we can explain the stability conditions first. Not like this, it is better way. It is better way. But if heat of combustion or heat of hydrogenation are not given to you, so this is the way to explain the stability of the alkenes. Stability of alkenes. Okay. So let us discuss what are the applications of this hyperconjugation. Applications of hyperconjugation. Okay. See, first one, applications. First one, used to explain the stability of carbocations. Used to explain the stability of carbocations, which is also called as carbanium ions. Carbanium ions. So carbocation or carbanium ion is common words. Carbocations are nothing but carbon with positive charge. Carbon with positive charge. Those carbons are called as carbocations. Okay. See here. This is methyl carbocation. This is CH3CH2 boys. It is plus. It is CH3CH3. It is plus CH3CH3. It is plus. It is methyl carbocation. It is a primary carbocation, secondary carbocation, tertiary carbocation. Tell me, boys. So carbon plus is sp2 hybridized. So because it is sp2 hybridized, so that methyl group is alpha carbon, boys. This is alpha. So this is alpha. 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 Here, number of alpha hydrogens is equal to 0. Here, number of alpha hydrogens is equal to 3. Alpha hydrogens is equal to 6. Alpha hydrogens is equal to 9. Therefore, that is more stable. This is less stable. Therefore, so the order of stability less than. Okay, did you understand the concept, boys? Is this clear? So depending on number of alpha hydrogens, we can explain the stability end. Already at the time of inductive effect, the same order we applied, boys. In case of tertiary carbocations, tertiary greater than, secondary greater than, primary greater than methyl. That is as per methyl groups plus I affected. Here, hyperconjugation also helpful to explain the stability of these carbocations. Okay, next one. Second one, used to explain the stability of carbon free radicals. Used to explain the stability of carbon free radicals. Carbon free radical means carbon with unpaired electron. Carbon with unpaired electron also sp2 hybridized boys. This carbon Sc plus is also sp2 hybridized. This is also sp2 hybridized. So that's why I'm using this concept also here. Okay. Now instead of plus, I'm taking radicality, methyl radical, CH3, CH2 radical, CH3, CH3 radical, CH3, CH3 radical. Okay, it is a methyl radical, it is a primary free radical, it is a secondary free radical, it is a tertiary free radical. Tell me once again, carbon free radical is sp2 hybridized boys. So therefore, here alpha hydrogens 3. This is alpha, this is alpha, this is alpha, 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 alpha. So alpha hydrogens 3, alpha hydrogens 6, alpha hydrogens 9. Therefore, so once again, less than. So this is the order of stability of carbon free radical. That means carbon cation, that is carbocations and carbon free radicals are stability are explained on the basis of this hyperconjugation. These are the two applications. Next, third one. Third one, stability of benzyl carbocation. Benzyl carbocation. How to explain? See here. Boys, this is benzylic carbon. So this carbon has positive charge. That is benzyl carbocation. This is benzyl carbocation. Now I am taking at this para position CH3 thrice. This is benzyl carbocation. Here CH3 twice. All these are benzyl carbocations, boys, but it is CH2, CH3. It is a CH3. It is a CH3. Tell me the boys, tell me. Here carbocation, sp2, it is not condition, but it is sp2, it is alpha carbon. This is alpha carbon. Okay. This alpha carbon has no hydrogens, boys. All are methyl groups. So here, this is alpha, this is alpha, this is alpha, this is alpha. Here, alpha hydrogens is equal to 0. All are methyl groups, boys. Next, here, alpha hydrogen is equal to 1. Here, alpha hydrogen is equal to 2. Here, alpha hydrogen is equal to 3. Therefore, this is less stable than, less stable than, less stable than. Okay. Therefore, D is more stable. So this is more stable. This is next. So this is the order of stability, boys. Okay. So A less than, B less than, C less than, D. Okay. This is benzylic carbocation based on number of alpha hydrogens. More alpha hydrogens, more stability, more resonance structure. Okay. Next one. Next. Boys, third one. There is fourth one. Stability of stability of benzene and electron density on benzene. Electron density on benzene. Already boys, already we explained. So during hyperconjugation, electron density on benzene ring increases. Because of that, stability decreases. Just now we completed previous examples boys. So therefore, I'm writing here, hyperconjugation increases electron density on benzene ring. Increases electron density on benzene ring. Therefore, so directly proportional to hyperconjugation base. Therefore, so electron density on benzene directly proportional to hyperconjugation. Electron density on benzene is directly proportional to hyperconjugation. Okay. So hyperconjugation also stabilizes benzene nucleus. The benzene nucleus. So hyperconjugation also stabilizes the benzene nucleus. So these are the conditions, boys. Next, fifth one. Stability of alkenes. Just now we completed, boys. Stability of alkenes. Hyperconjugation is used to explain stability of alkenes. This is the order of stability, boys. More substituents, more is the stability ending, which is greater than. Please keep in mind, this is very, very important. 100% there is a bit on this concept, boys. Greater than. Which is greater than. That is greater than. Sir, how is this? Based on heat of combustion values, boys. So this is the order of stability, boys. This is the order of stability. Okay. Here, note this point, boys. Here, very, very important. C triple bond CH2, two alkyl groups, is more stable than C double bond C with one alkyl group each. This is very, very important. How is this, sir? Because of heat of combustion and heat of hydrogenation values. Explain this concept, boys. Okay. Now I'm explaining heat of hydrogenation for this concept. So same concept anyway. Heat of hydrogenation. Heat of hydrogenation means addition of hydrogen to alkene. See here, I'm taking CH2 double bond CH2. I'm adding hydrogen, boys, in the presence of nickel, platinum, or palladium catalyst. It converts into CH3 single bond CH3. This hydrogen is added here, boys. So during this process, some heat energy will be released. That is, delta H is negative, exothermic, boys. If more heat is released, reactivity is faster. Okay, so reactivity is faster. Very, very, very important. So more number of pi bonds are there, more heat of hydrogenation. So that means more double bonds, more heat of hydrogenation. Based on this, see here, first condition, heat of hydrogenation is directly proportional to number of pi bonds. More pi bonds, more heat of hydrogenation. Next, second condition, heat of hydrogenation. So in general, is also inversely proportional to stability of alkene. Stability of alkene. So that means, when it is, if number of pi bonds are same, if number of pi bonds are same, this is the heat of hydrogenation is used for it. Okay, heat of hydrogenation is always exothermic end. Heat of hydrogenation is exothermic. Exothermic end. Next, heat of hydrogenation should be considered in magnitude. Don't consider that negative value. Negative means release. So more negative, more release rate. That means in magnitude value, we should consider it. So heat of hydrogenation should be considered in magnitude. Okay. So based on this, so see here, boys. Here, if we consider this compound, heat of hydrogenation gives is like this compound. Sorry, alkane. That is like this cell. sp3 carbon cell. If we take trans compound also, after hydrogenation gives, so alkane categories. Same conditions are applicable. Either cis compound or trans compound, whatever it may be, finally gives alkane with sp3 hybridization each and every carbon. Each and every carbon. If we consider, see here, so I'm writing heat of hydrogenation for this in the diagram. It is a potential energy, boys. So it is potential energy. So this is a trans compound. Boys, it is more stable. It is less stable ending. More stable compound has less heat of hydrogenation. Less stable compound has more heat of hydrogenation. So this is heat of hydrogenation value. Okay, it is trans to butene. It is a butane. This is cis to butene. It is a butane. It is also AN, butane. So see here. So this heat of hydrogenation is more than that of this one. Okay. So this is a compounds. So very, very important. So less, here it is less heat of hydrogenation. It is more heat of hydrogenation. Less heat of hydrogenation, more heat of hydrogenation. Okay. So very, very important. Next, heat of combustion. Next, here are same theory. Any heat of combustion also helpful to explain the stability of alkenes. B, heat of combustion. Heat of combustion means presence excess of oxygen. So for example, I am taking methane, oxygen is taken, there is carbon dioxide and water molecule. Along that, some heat energy is released, negative energy. This is heat of combustion. Already we know at the time of thermodynamics. Heat of combustion was. Okay. So what are the points why you should remember? Heat of combustion is exothermic, no doubt. We consider magnitude value. Magnitude value. Okay. Next, heat of combustion. Heat of combustion is directly proportional to molecular weight of compound. Heat of combustion directly proportional, more molecule. That means as number of carbons increases, molecular weight increases. As molecular weight increases, no doubt heat of combustion also increases. And next, heat of combustion is inversely proportional to stability of isomer. So if same molecular weight, for same molecular weight, so stability of isomer. So that means more heat of combustion ready to involve in the reaction, less is the stability. Less is the stability. Next, heat of combustion is directly proportional to surface area. Directly proportional to surface area. So for isomers of alkanes, in case of alkanes, next third quadrant, that is heat of combustion orders wise. More carbons, more heat of combustion. See here. But in case of cycloalkanes, so cyclopropyl group is very, very less reactive. That's a more heat of combustion wise, very, very important. So even though carbon number increased, but heat of combustion decreased in case of cycloalkanes. It is, see here, sorry, more carbons, more heat of combustion wise. So therefore, cyclopropane, cyclobutane, cyclopentane, that means carbons increases, heat of combustion also increases. Carbons increases, heat of combustion also increases. Next, so CH4 less than C2H6 less than C3H18. Next, so open chain compounds is greater than more surface area here. It is something surface area decreased, which is surface area something decreased. So based on surface area. Based on surface area, it is a concept wise. Okay. Next. Next. Cis to butene greater than trans butene. Cis to butene greater than trans to butene. Trans to butene. Next, in case of cyclohexanes, substituted cyclohexanes, see here boys, it is equatorial position. This is axial position, less stable. That's why less stable means more heat of combustion greater than if both are at equatorial position. Equatorial boys. So that is more stable. This is less stable. That's why less stable compound has more heat of combustion. More heat of combustion. So this is the way. So it is very, very, very important, boys. Once again, if you want to identify that in graphical representation, it is a potential energy, boys. So it is the compounds. Okay. So trans compound, it is CO2 plus H2O. These are the final products. So it is a trans component, less heat of combustion. If I am taking cis compound, it is once again CO2 plus H2O. I am taking cis compound wise, more heat of combustion. More heat of combustion. Boys, in case for alkenes, to explain the stability, for alkenes to explain the stability, heat of combustion is better than heat of hydrogenation. So to explain the stability, heat of combustion is better than heat of hydrogenation. It is very, very, very important. Very, very important. Okay. So this is hyperconjugation and its applications. First, all these are very, very, very important. Next and last topic, simple one, that is reverse hyperconjugation. Next subheading, reverse hyperconjugation. reverse hyperconjugation. What is this reverse hyperconjugation? See here, boys. CH2 Cl double bond CH double bond CH2. Alpha position halogen is there. Actually, in place of here we expected hydrogen. If halogen is there, so this pi bond is migrated to this one. Sorry. This pi bond is shifted to this, exactly reverse to that of hyperconjugation. So that's why. So this is in resonance with CH2. This chlorine has negative charge. So double bond CH2. This carbon has positive charge. Okay. So it is in charged condition means more dipole moment. More dipole moments. So that's why that is more stable, boys. So like this. So exactly reverse to that up. If alpha chloro compounds are there, this reverse hyperconjugation is possible. This reverse hyperconjugation is possible. See here one more example. So carbon CCl3. So this is alpha chlorines. So now it is towards this. Boys. So that gives like this. Here also almost similar to hyperconjugation, but reverse to hyperconjugation. Reverse to hyperconjugation. So this reverse hyperconjugation is also possible. So when it is possible, only alpha halogen are available. Reverse hyperconjugation possible. Reverse hyperconjugation is possible. Similarly, negative hyperconjugation. Last point, boys. So within 1 minute we will go. Negative hyperconjugation. Negative hyperconjugation. See here, instead of fluorine is there. Instead of fluorine is there. Nitrogen with hydrogen, lone pairs are there. This nitrogen has negative charge. Okay, so now this negative charge and this one is possible, and so that's why this is negative charge involved in. Because negative charge is involved, so that's why it is considered as negative hyperconjugation. Okay, so CH, H, F minus ion, double bond N, H and E, double bond NH. Okay, so it is 2 lone pairs. It is a lone pair. So this is called as a negative, because negative charge is involved in the hyperconjugation, that too reverse hyperconjugation. So it is negative reverse hyperconjugation. Okay, so it is most commonly observed when the sigma star orbital isolated, this is sigma star orbital, isolated on CF or CO bonds, but not with normal CH bonds. So this is negative hyperconjugation, boys. So this is about your hyperconjugation. So this is the end of hyperconjugation. Thank you, one and all.